And 3, 2, 1. Good day and welcome to a Hat Chat. This is episode 22. That was a very nice intro, isn't it? Very Red Dead Redemption-y.
Yes, October Stan. Once again, thank you. Send your fingers in.
That was the person, the fingal maker was October Stan. You weren't just saying...
Yes, October Stan.
Submit your fan-made jingles or fingles to hatchat@hat-films.com.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm still
We
furious.
don't guarantee we'll use them.
No.
I'm still furious we haven't got the bottle one.
No, a lot of people emailed saying, sorry, it's not the bottle one, but here's this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's not it. That's not
That's
the one,
not
though,
it,
is
though.
it?
It's not it.
So that's not the one I requested.
Anyway, introduce yourself.
Forever disappointed. I'm Ross Hornby, and I'm disappointed.
I'm Chris Trott, and I'm equally disappointed.
I'm Alex Smith, and I am on the fence.
He's on the fence. He's not bothered.
He's impartial.
You can have the bottles either way. Well, one day,
Give or
some
take it.
person's going to
can
make
see
it. It's going to be
great,
amazing.
You know, but
Yeah.
also I don't let it define me. You know,
Well, yeah.
I wake up.
I know you guys are defined
It's
by.
defined by I'm defined by it.
Yeah.
I wake up to glass blowing.
You wake up to it.
It's
Like a
great
rooster.
alarm.
glass blowing.
Yeah.
So like some
the
guys
sound of-
heating up glass and like.
they're blowing into glass.
Oh right.
That is
It's-
loud.
You mean
But,
bottle blowing?
Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
Why it's not, is it? Because you can't blow over the top of a glass. It's specifically the size of bottle holes,
But
which means
some of it could be
glass blowing was incorrect. Chris Trott.
Yeah, I said it wrong. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
disappointed with
Yeah,
myself.
I mean, I am
disappointed.
now. I'm
I
off
was
the
already
fence
everything
now,
about
and I'm
you.
very much anti-glass blowing.
You're against it. You don't want
No,
it.
I'm against the act of people making glass structures out of heated
God's sake.
silica.
How are we going to
Yeah, I'm
drink?
a bit against that.
No,
Well, what about actual glass? What about
Let the
glasses you
machines
drink
do it.
from?
I'm a plastic man.
machines do it? To be
Plastic
fair?
hasn't seen us wrong yet, has it?
What about all those bongs? you collect bongs, don't you? You're a bong
Loads.
collector.
Decorative bongs.
Yeah.
But I only
You can put plants in them.
I put plants in them.
They're vases, mum. Look, there's plants in it.
still residue from my last plant in
Oh dear, your vase
Yeah,
smells
sometimes I put
strange.
herbs in that bit.
Grows out the side.
But yeah, send your
Put your
fingers.
spices in there.
Spices.
Not spice, mum.
Any talking points? Talking points, topics. We've got loads of like funny news stories that
Yeah.
have been kind of accumulating over the,
People
over the
dying.
weeks because
Uh,
I don't know if they're
Nothing
all
about
death.
that.
Some of them might have death. I mean, when I say funny news again, they're interesting news stories. Some are funny, some are tragic, some are
A lot
just
of them
ridiculous.
are like the ones that you've put as funny news in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you change the title of them to make it funnier for yourself.
I'll make it funnier. Yeah.
And then the actual news article is either horrifying or
Yeah.
something's really bad.
Or I get really lazy, like no glasses for women in Japan, which
Okay.
is in fact a thing.
That's a rule, is it?
Which,
no glasses.
well, you guys said you were talking about
Japan.
Japan recently,
I'm thinking of visiting.
and I saw this. Are you thinking of visiting? Are you?
Yeah, so I need to make sure I wear glasses, obviously
Well,
to stand out.
just to
as
make the
not
most of the
being
fact that you won't get
that I-
banned for.
Yeah, I get to have them.
yeah.
Well, it says here that there's a glasses ban for women at work, and it's sparking a backlash
Where?
in Japan.
All workplaces.
Wearing glasses at work has become an emotive topic in Japan following reports that some firms have told female employees to remove them. Now, this isn't funny.
It's not.
This isn't funny at all. If anything, it's extremely
I mean,
repressive and
it's
pointless.
bizarre.
And, yeah, they've stated here that among them, some retail chains reportedly said glasses wearing shop assistants gave a cold impression.
What?
Like, I don't know. I guess just having glasses on made them seem
Cold?
less friendly or something, or like less approachable.
on.
Fuck, I don't know. Like,
This female.
how do you
looks-
get? Do you get treated like differently because your glasses are
I
on?
think that wearing glasses.
Whoa, actually, suddenly that makes a big difference.
I think
I'm sorry.
more-
Can you keep those
I
on?
feel threatened.
Keep those bad boys
See,
off.
this is the thing. I think
Smith
wearing
has
glasses
removed,
is actually more
glasses.
disarming than not wearing glasses. I think that I don't know why, but
Because
if I
it's
see
like, haha, 4 eyes.
yeah, I think so. Also, just like
Takes him back.
I used to
think
wear glasses. so
I think
yeah.
if somebody
I can say
is gonna, be a threat to you, they're probably not wearing glasses. Because if I was gonna go and beat somebody up,
Is that what the fear is?
well,
Is the fear
I'm
of-
trying to quantify them saying it looks cold because
Right,
I
okay.
think that typically, like glasses have a few different.
disarming, isn't it? Really,
It is. I think people who
Yeah.
wear glasses it's a little bit disarming because
They have a flaw
to an extent.
with their eyesight.
It depends because there are some glasses which
I don't know, it's fucking stupid.
It almost
It doesn't
yeah,
make
it's-
sense.
it is extremely stupid. But there are some glasses where it almost looks like you're emoting in a way, like those pointy ones that go up, like they're like so. It looks like you're angry
Oh.
eyes. But that's a specific frame. That's
Is it-
not like all glasses.
Yeah. So
Several-
you agree?
Like in
Suspect.
Monsters Inc.
These.
Monsters Inc. The receptionist, is it? Where she's
With
got
the
those really
lipstick.
pointed things, and it's just like that makes her look angry. If she took them off, maybe she wouldn't look angry. But again, that's a very very specific, targeted
Yeah.
thing, which looks like eyebrows.
So you think all women look like this with
No,
glasses
I don't
on?
think all
I think
women-
that's what
I think
Ross is
this
trying to
creature does, and it just looks like eyebrows. That's it.
say. Yeah, I'd agree. With
However, I
that.
don't think that's the point that these guys.
But
are
she's
making.
also got the. She's grouchy. She's a grouchy character. I think if you had a
Maybe
really,
they put the glasses on her because she's a grouchy character, and they just don't like.
it does
this
fit
character.
her
They're just
face
trying to-
and the furrowed
They have
frown.
horns. They're horn tipped.
I think it also helps to
they're not all wearing these glasses.
like
This is a specific
like
style.
place her in. I don't know. There's
She's
some
a slug.
There's sub.
Is she a
she's
slug?
What? She's a slug
Some sort of
monster.
Slug monster.
I think that
slug lord.
it helps place some sort of like signifier and it, but I don't know. Also, like the Japanese
that's
have
not
a
related to
really
this.
strange like
Work
idea
culture.
of like women, and I say the Japanese in general because that's all I know. I'm sorry, I haven't.
Well,
been
when
to
you
Japan.
have certain rail stations that are designated women's only
Why is it
for
just
fear
women?
of perversion
Oh really?
and men doing
Right.
upskirt or sexual harassment, you know there's a serious problem.
Yeah, but like again, can you confirm that? Have you been to those places? It's,
I've seen
it's
videos.
dangerous.
No,
It's
no,
dangerous to
there's-
presume because
it's true. Like,
Right.
there are like not everywhere, but in a major city I can't remember the name of, they have women's only carriages because
Right. For
it's
safety.
so rife that men do stuff like that.
What's
it's
society?
a
for their
very
safety.
complicated social mechanics at play. Like, well, you look at like maid cafes and things like that, and like the
Yeah.
way that works. It's an interesting. It's a very different
Sorry, what is
culture.
a maid cafe?
You know what a maid cafe is? Surely you've heard about maid cafes. So like, it's where you go in and like you're treated like a. Well, the one I saw last night, I was watching Sue Perkins on Japan, which is actually quite interesting, quite insightful. And I've heard Mark Humes talk about it because he's been before. So you go in, and there's a lot of sort of youngish women, you know, like probably around 20s, and they're all dressed in maids' outfits. And you come in, and there's like this master and
Right, I'm
maid
starting to see
relationship,
where this is going,
Master
right?
servant.
right? And so so you come in, and they'll be like, "Oh, hello, master, thank you for coming," like
Okay,
all this
good-
sort of stuff,
Good
like,
accent.
and they'll do all this like Japanese
Good accent.
women thing. And then you sit down, and then they like have tea with you, and they make you feel nice,
Okay.
and like it's basically for like lonely men.
It's like
I presume?
a kind of a cosplay escort style thing.
Yeah,
almost.
so-
like
yeah,
they're
yeah,
cosplaying
yeah.
maids.
Sort of.
But it's not
I mean,
like-
basically from those images, like they're all.
I don't think it's that.
It's not sexual, but it's just
it's
like.
like a servant.
Well, that's what
master
an escort
thing,
will
right?
tell you. It's not sexual
Yeah, I don't know.
until
Again,
until
like,
a certain businessman pays the right
I
Well,
price.
feel
they're
like I'm
playing-
stepping on eggshells here, perhaps presuming things, but like from what I've seen, it's
They play
there's a
into it.
very strange relationship between sexuality and people in Japan, and men and women as well. They have some of the lowest birth rates in the world for a developed country. They have some of the lowest marriage rates. Their
Jesus, why is
population
that?
is declining by 1,000 people a day in Japan.
I think there's a serious.
1,000 people a day.
Yeah, there's a serious issue with lock-in men. Right, they just stay at home all the time and they
Yeah.
haven't
Lock-in
left their room. It's like a
very
real
sort of
weird phenomenon going on.
Yeah, and because they have such a strong work culture, I think that they don't have as much time for social occasions. So there's state-sponsored meetups that you can go to where you can try and find a partner, or like mixers.
To encourage.
Yeah, but like, yeah, it's. I mean, it's a very different.
Well, it's a good thing
place.
that we're all experts.
Exactly.
country.
Well,
This
I
is the
mean-
thing.
And we
I-
can discuss this.
I don't want to.
fully full of knowledge.
Presume too
Well, I'll
much.
go. So then,
Yeah.
I've got the
Yeah.
knowledge.
But yeah, ultimately, the glasses thing seems pretty stupid. But they're saying it's some sort of tradition. That's not.
Is that
is that-
China?
Yeah, that's not.
That's when Chris Trott goes there. I was just
Um,
thinking about Chris Trott's journey to Japan and like him arriving, and like that's what I would
Yeah.
play.
Would you take the dog?
You'd blend in.
You'd take the dog.
Apart from the blonde hair,
I take Mochi home.
if you had your
Mochi needs to
real
go home
colours,
back to a.
I have found this dog.
Yeah, they were like, oh, we
think
see,
it's
we eat
Osaka
those
that
because
have the
they're so
characters.
fucking common. They're a plight.
Oh, there are Japanese.
They're
spits
everywhere. in
Everywhere.
Japan.
Here.
There's spits all over the place. We need
If
to
I-
cull them.
If I took my dog,
Yeah.
would I have to put Mochi in the women's only carriage, and I'd have to go in the men's?
Well, maybe.
Well, it's just the fear of dog upskirts. dog skirts.
Yeah. And
What if
she
it turns out
barely
that
wears
she's
anything.
like the daughter dog to the emperor's dog,
Oh my god.
and then you have to like repatriate her, and
how would
and
they
it turns
And
out
then you
she's
just
like a
have to-
princess, and they like start
Yeah.
treating her like royalty.
put little
One second you're having a nice
on
holiday in
ground.
Japan. Next second you're giving your dog up to
Yeah.
royalty.
Before I know,
And there's
I'm wearing a
thousands
maid's
and
outfit,
thousands of
You're
Japanese.
wearing a
serving
maid's
mochi.
Trying to get it back. I just want mochi
I
back.
can see it happening, honestly.
Hello, princess.
And they just keep giving you little,
That's what they'd
little
say.
They
rice
carry
cakes
around a
things.
little like silk cushion.
Yeah.
Amazing. I can't wait for that life.
Yeah.
to be a maid.
I would like to be immersed in the world of Japan for like a year and understand what
Yeah.
it's like.
Watch Abroad in Japan.
Yeah.
He's a guy, an English guy.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
7 years ago, he went out to Japan because
Mhm.
he thought, "Fuck it, I'll go out to Japan."
Mhm.
And he's like very much like us in the sense of, yeah, this is what it's like. The snacks here are pretty shit and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
He's like very like level-headed about the whole
What's
thing.
it called again?
Abroad in Japan.
Mm. But it's not abroad.
He's
it's a
also
guy.
been government funded sometimes to do like pieces on Japan, like
Oh,
these
yeah.
are cool areas to visit and stuff like that.
Oh,
so-
well, yeah. Tourism board
because he
stuff.
gets millions of views sometimes.
Man,
Nice.
That's pretty good.
He's in a cushy
We
spot.
didn't get that.
Okay. Well, anyway, something's
should
going
do it
on in
for
Japan. It's
Something
a
happened
bit of a
in
mess.
Japan. Yeah.
Glasses, don't wear them.
Don't wear glasses if
If
you
you're a
want to
woman.
seem welcoming.
We've established the fact. Are we saying it's a fact that all Japanese men are lock-ins? Is that what you said? Are we solidifying that in fact?
Yes. If you say that all women look like that slug from Monsters Inc.
All women.
That's what he
It's pretty
said.
damning. I said that there are glasses which look
It's the
like
same-
eyebrows, which
it's
give
the
you an
same
emotion.
kind of statement. You're trying to make me force.
Suddenly,
Why am I the one who feels like they're trying to be diplomatic here? I'm usually the one that has no filter.
Wrangle us in, quick! I'm getting out of hand.
okay, let's see what else we've
It's all
got. We've got some other
tongue-in-cheek.
stuff.
We don't want to
Uh,
give them an excuse to fly planes into the side of boats again.
What about weed in nose? 18 years too long?
What?
Weed in nose? 18 years too long?
Who puts that in their nose for so long?
Cannabis retrieved from man's nose 18 years after he tried to smuggle it into prison.
Oh my
For almost
God.
2 decades, the man believed he had accidentally swallowed the package, despite persistent sinus infections. Oh, for God's sake.
How much weed was there to like?
Well, I don't
It
know.
can't have been very much.
His doctors report a unique case in a paper published in the British Medical Journal under the heading of "A Nose Out of Joint."
That's very
According to the lead author, Dr. Murray Smith of Westmead
Oh.
Hospital in Australia,
good.
the
Related?
patient was first given the cannabis inside a rubber balloon when his girlfriend visited him in prison. The man inserted the package into his right nostril to hide it from the prison guards and smuggle it into the facility. However, he was unable to retrieve it once he slipped
So
past
he
them.
got a whole balloon up his nose.
Yeah, you got a little balloon
And
up
it
there.
stayed there.
And it's over the next 2 decades, the balloon developed into a rhinolith, a
That's a
stone
cool
in
name.
the nasal cavity formed as calcium and magnesium salts slowly build up around
He
the rubber.
basically added an extra bone in his nose.
This caused the patient regular sinus infections and frequent complaints about nasal obstructions. But it wasn't until these developed into painful headaches that he sought treatment. Investigating the mysterious cause of the man's headaches, his doctors performed a CT scan and discovered a rubber capsule containing degenerate vegetable/plant matter, which was then surgically removed. 3 months after the surgery, the patient reported that all of his symptoms had disappeared. 18 years.
So he had a weed balloon in his nose,
Nose,
surrounded by calcium.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It built up over and sold.
How can you just have that in your nose and think, I think I swallowed
At
it?
what point do you forget? At what point do you forget that that's what you did, and your nose is suddenly acting up?
Well, I don't think he forgot. I think
He's
he
probably-
presumed
Bear in
he'd
mind-
swallowed it.
Bear in
he-
mind, he is in prison.
He doesn't want to come out as a guy that's got drugs in his nose, I
Yeah.
assume.
I don't think he's the sharpest tool in the shed.
No.
Do smart
honest.
people go to prison?
Some probably do, yeah.
Do all dogs go to heaven?
We'll
I
say
hope
yes.
so. I
We'll,
hope
we'll
so.
say yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
easier
so we're
that
saying
way.
yes on that
We'll
one.
do it.
Yeah.
But geckos, sorry.
Geckos
Straight to hell.
No reptiles, unfortunately.
Back to
No reptiles.
Down, serpent! Back with the devil with you!
I mean, Adam and Eve, we've all seen it.
It's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, Trot.
What?
What? Is that the?
Just talking about reptiles.
That's not the reptile thing. But we know your status there. Apparently, HBO created a box which it looks like something that would be released on like April 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And this article just says, masturbate furiously in the privacy of your own cardboard box, courtesy of HBO.
Oh my god!
The HBO box is basically a box that covers your entire body apart from your legs, because there's 2 holes for your legs to poke out.
Look at those pillows.
And I think it's mainly designed... There's a video as well if you're watching this.
When was this posted? This is like an April
This was posted
Fool's.
today.
Let's watch this.
No, Wednesday, sorry.
When it comes to the dorm room experience,
Essentially, what's happening, for anyone listening, is that there's two students in a dorm room. They're looking at each other, and
He's
one of them
really
looks really
looking.
annoyed. He's got his laptop out, the other one's
the
eating
HBO
loudly.
box.
So they're introducing the HBO box.
This has got
Featuring
to
the
be a
latest
joke.
in cardboard technology,
Yeah, it is. It
It
is.
has to be.
we took a stand.
So they just
box.
fancied making like some sort of
360
viral.
degree
But
hole.
why now? Why now rather than
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
that's an April?
Because
That's a
not
perfect
all
April Fool's thing.
cohabitants
Oh, they released it now.
It was released on Wednesday. This
and
in
not all
November.
screens are for
Yeah.
sharing. Impervious to the outside world.
It's
you'll
kind of
remain
interesting
blissfully
because
ignorant to
HBO
what's
are doing this
occurring
as a
in your
joke,
dorm
Yeah.
room.
but they're also consciously aware that
Just
they've got a
enter
lot of
and be
sex in their
transported
stuff,
to
well, that's
Westworld
and
I guess
people
that's it.
jerk
Yeah.
off to it
or an
Yeah.
unidentified
rather than treating it as
suburb.
like an art form. So HBO's kind of in on the joke, you know.
There's a guy,
We're
there's a
so
wry
excited
smile
to see
from the
what
guy at
you
the end.
do.
It
Look at the way he's
looks
curled
so
up as well.
uncomfortable.
Look at the way he's curled up in that box.
But would you get one?
HBO.
No, I'd
If
go
I
into
li-
a bathroom.
If I was in a dorm
but we never.
and I was like, look, I'm just going to get in the box and watch some
Bathroom's not a good
HBO.
environment.
It's such
Specifically
an alien
HBO.
concept to us. Like, I don't think there's any unis, well,
No, it doesn't
not that
have
I
to.
can think of, that have dual rooms. Like
In
all-
America, it's
more
like
common.
pretty,
So my
pretty
brother
common,
in Exeter University lived
Yeah.
in such a shithole of a dorm room.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
God.
like, imagine a single room that's like this
Right, that's a
to the wall.
your arm.
Yeah.
That wall.
Imagine this in half, like an old school like university
Like a cupboard.
kind of like wood.
I'm
old-
picturing Harry
Yeah.
Potter's
Musty
under
and-
the stairs.
Yeah.
And what disconnects them is a curtain.
Ah,
So
oh,
just
okay.
a curtain between them and another room.
Two guys sharing a room.
It's as good as that box.
Fuck.
though.
Okay, well that's the only instance I've heard of in the UK.
No,
Like-
there's a few.
I think that place
It's
got
just I feel
demolished.
that
Oh, did it? Was it really cheap?
It was one of the cheaper ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's available, and people can live in those.
yeah.
It's just a curtain.
I mean, there is some element of camaraderie having like another person
He
in the
didn't
room
like
with
him.
you. Well, there we
Did
go.
you ever share a room with your brother?
Yeah, I used to share a room with my brother
I
years
did,
ago.
Did
yeah.
you enjoy that?
Yeah, it's alright.
Got on with him. Yeah.
I mean, I was like,
he's dead now. He's
Oh,
fine.
I
Did
think I
that-
was like 15 or 16. Well,
Right.
probably
Oh,
about
okay.
15 when I stopped sharing a room. But
Oh, yeah, I
like,
think about 14 for me.
yeah.
Because I had like a box room up until I was like 6. And then they were like, oh, you're getting too big for this box room. We'll knock it through so that you can share this bigger space together.
Yeah.
And we
Uh-huh.
had bunk beds
Oh, okay.
until I was like 14.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. Played
Sweet.
Action Men. It was great.
Yeah, it's fine. And I think, yeah, if you're in a dorm with like multiple people like that you like, then sure. But yeah, largely in the UK, I don't think we'd have need for the HBO box.
No, I don't think. And also, I wouldn't brand it the HBO box. I'd grab an Amazon box and just go to town myself.
What can I order that gives me a big,
Order
the
just,
biggest
The
box?
biggest box.
Huge space.
But the way Amazon, I mean, you can order anything that's small. They just give you a giant box anyway. You just fill it with that packing foam stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah.
It's
Oh,
also,
shit, it's got a DVD. Giant
also-
box.
if you were to get one of these, right?
Yeah.
And your doormate walks in. Kind
They
of
know what's
obvious.
going on.
They know what's going on.
But then-
oh, he's got the box out.
It's, yeah.
the legs are like,
You
legs
got
are
that, you
just
got that echo.
trembling ankles. His ankles are going crazy.
He's tensing.
No, I best leave. This is not a situation I want to be around.
Oh, the HBO box is out.
this is the last time I share a room with you,
Yeah,
Dad.
this article is all about just
In your
enjoying,
HBO.
enjoying a
HBO
wank
box.
in the HBO box.
Use a bathroom, you fuck. We've got a lockable bathroom.
But if I mean, it doesn't say that how much that would cost. I mean, how much would you put a price on a wank
On
box?
a cardboard wank box.
A wank box. I'd make it for one. I'd make it longer so my legs could be in it fully.
You want to be fully encapsulated.
I mean, it may as well just be a coffin at this stage. A coffin
cardboard
with air
coffin.
holes and lights.
Pollen? Pillow fort.
A pillow fort.
Yeah.
Oh, I love a good pillow fort.
No
Do
one
you
ever has enough
do
pillows
forts,
for it.
pillow forts,
I guess.
blanket forts? Like it's like in
Yeah.
that Community episode where they all just
Yeah.
made of like a village
Like a
of
city.
yeah, which is great.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Pillow forts are great, but I feel like I wouldn't really enjoy it that much now.
It gets really
Oh,
hot really
fuck.
fast.
Ah, just crawling around.
I
just
get
like,
so uncomfortable when I get hot.
yeah,
I get very annoyed
yeah.
when I'm hot.
Do you get prickly heat?
Yeah, I do. And it's
Yeah, you
annoying.
seem like the kind of guy to get prickly heat.
Do I look like the type?
Yeah.
Also the kind of guy that owns a white fluffy dog and gets prickly heat.
No,
What a
the dog doesn't come into
The dog
it.
thing. Oh, see, the dog.
Leave the
was-
dog out.
That,
Life
was,
Life choices though.
that came from left field. I did not expect to get that dog. Honestly,
Oh, he gets
that was a
prickly
very
heat
big
and owns a
surprise. Like,
small
oh, look.
dog.
Oh, okay. Okay, well that's the HBO Wank Box. I don't know if it's available, but if I was to sell one, I'd charge people £15
15.
for the privilege. Yeah, just for the
I
branding.
guess the-
That's the branding alone. The
It's
box
a-
costs nothing.
It's a black exterior, so they had to print black on
Yeah.
black
It's
cardboard.
expensive.
It's expensive.
Depends on if
I'd
you
be
get
happy
on
with
mass.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Right.
Plus, it's
okay.
flat pack when you arrive. It arrives.
We've
That's
got a
good.
surprising amount of mileage out of this story. What's the next one?
Well, let's throw some out here. So there's Russians ban Halloween. The Bride's done a runner with the cash. You may have heard that one. I ditched my therapist for a dominatrix.
Oh yeah, I put that one in there.
Put that one. That's an older one. There's 1920s fetus are now on sale.
Wow.
Do you want to hear about that one?
How do I buy a fetus?
Okay, let's see. Colorado woman
1920s.
indicted in attempted sale of 1920s fetuses.
So you find it's indicted.
Feti? Is there not like a
not.
like a group of fetuses? Is it just fetuses, or can we
Feti.
not say like feti? Or
Oh, it looks
look
like
at that collection of feti.
they've written fetuses.
I know they have, so it's obviously right. It has to be. You have
I
to trust
believe
everything you
everything
read.
that's
You have to trust
written
everything you
form.
read nowadays.
AP News especially.
A Colorado woman was suspected of trying to sell 3 human fetuses from the 1920s and a fetal skeleton online. Has been indicted
So
in
they're
California
dead
on
then?
charges. Yeah, it's 1920s, Trot. And they're fetuses. They haven't had a life.
My first thought
Their
was,
life has always been that tiny little body,
I know.
probably in a jar
I know.
of
What's
My-
brine or other.
You reckon it's got an
preservative.
expression like that? You think it's got an expression?
Well, there's actually value in buying fetuses because you can try and harvest stem cells from their bodies.
Especially 1920s.
Yeah, 1920s. I don't know what the
That's
quality of the stem cells.
Pre-industrial era,
Yeah.
like good grade body.
Good grade fetus. That's
DNA.
one of that's a fetus.
Untainted by pollution.
Yeah.
You know the
What if I was just
Child-
fetus hungry?
well, I mean,
Well,
yeah.
I'm
If
just
you
like,
just
well,
Nutritionally, that's
I just like fetus
probably a
steaks,
good meal.
so that's my thing.
cook it in a
And
can like those chickens.
boil in a bag.
Just a
It's a 100-year-old meat.
Take the
though.
jar,
boil
put
in
it
a jar
inside.
fetus.
That's 100 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's been
Aged
preserved. Trot.
So long.
It's preserved to a
Some-
point where you can eat it.
Do you
Some
trust
people say
this
preserved. I say marinated.
Marinated,
You know?
of course. Yeah.
marinated by life.
You know, you can make 10 miles of donor skin from one child foreskin.
Oh,
You know that?
How
No.
wide?
how long? How far?
So after a foreskin is removed,
fuck
right,
off.
you can then use it and grow it out more to create spare skin for
So it's
skin
the width of a
grafts.
foreskin,
And how does that? So I mean,
and it
God.
just grows.
Well, they just
What
grow
about
on
an
their own.
adult's
No, they need to
foreskin?
be like,
Is that
like
not
cultured.
Encouraged.
I don't know. There's something about kids' foreskins that works really well. I think it might be because like the babies are because they're getting circumcised. Because obviously in America, circumcision is very popular, and there are a lot of
rife in
a
America.
lot of Jewish people
Yeah.
over there as well. So they're doing circumcisions, and I
Just
think you
cut
can
'em
yeah,
off.
they're either donated or bought, and you can grow
Like a
skin
scarf.
Do you think there are many
like a
circumcision
scarf, yeah, like a
accidents?
snood.
Worst circumcision?
Why are you typing this?
I just want to know what like.
Worst circumcision?
I just
Why are
want
you
to know whether.
typing that? Why?
You are almost certainly going to get a child being
disgusting.
circumcised.
I don't want to see the image. There we go. Worst accidents. I don't know. Well, I mean, these are just negative effects after having it done without your permission.
Oh my god.
Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for. How often does it happen where they accidentally just cut the whole thing off?
Cut the whole dick off. That's
I
a
guess-
pretty big fucking margin of error.
Wow, doctor
Yeah.
accidentally cuts off boy's penis during Oh, great.
It's
Fucking
got cookies.
You
blocks.
gotta log in to read the news.
during a circumcision procedure, which you'd think would happen. I mean, a baby's told you can't be that big, right? So
No. not
you've got a very
babies.
small margin of error there.
Yeah,
for
but it's
you
not
to-
like microscopic. It's still like, you know, if you're a surgeon, you're used to working with pretty small, like.
yeah. What if it's smaller than the average and you're just like, whoops?
This could link to
all gone
our
now.
old hat chat about overworked Americans, and they do like
Right.
sleep-ins and stuff,
Right.
and also take cocaine to like stimulate themselves and keep them going.
What's cocaine got anything to do with circumcising children?
Just get you through
He's
it. Gets him
imagine
through it. It gets him
doing
amped
like
up.
a 24-hour shift, and the last thing you do,
Yeah.
high blasted on cocaine on the come down,
Yeah.
is a circumcision of a child. Fuck it. Oh, well, there goes the dick. I'm gonna go home and
Is
write
it like
out this
a
cocaine.
time-sensitive surgery, or could he just go like, you know what, guys, I've had 20 hours of surgery today. Do you really want me to go at your child's dick with a scalpel?
Or if there's-
And I'd be like, nah, it's all right. I can wait.
Yeah.
I thought it was a butcher's cleaver.
Well, I thought it was those things you clip the sprues off of Warhammer with. There's one in there. That'd be
Just one of those little
a, next
tiny-
one down. Yellow handles.
Yeah.
Or the blue ones,
I
yeah.
mean,
See, those would be perfect for circumcision.
a sharp pair of hairdresser scissors will do the trick, wouldn't it?
So you pull it tight like the end of a balloon. You know when you want to tie a
Yeah.
balloon off? Same thing, So you stretch
Oh,
the
okay.
foreskin out. But then,
See, I'm a traditionalist. I prefer the old string
oh,
method.
right.
Wait
Docking.
for it to die, and then just really tug it to the full cheese
I
wire
like
effect.
the original method, pre-tools.
Biting. Fuck. Isn't that what they do for
Goats.
lamb? Wait, no. Goats.
Goats.
Yeah, they
Bite
circumcise
the
them by
nuts
bite
off.
their.
No, it's not circumcision.
wait.
It's castration.
It's castration. They
Mm.
they chomp them off. Would you ever? Do you think you'd ever? If there was an experience that we could arrange,
I wouldn't want to do it.
do you think
Oh no.
I think it's horrible.
with a camera pointed at you and all the pressure of being told to do it, and the goat's there. The
I
goat
wouldn't
is right
do
in
it.
front of you. The balls are there,
Mhm.
and you're like, look, you need to save this goat by
Save
what?
it.
What?
Yeah,
Hold
yeah.
on. How
You're
is it
saving the
it?
goat somehow.
I mean, if I'm saving its
You need to
life, then
save
yeah,
it.
I'll do it.
You
But
need to
There's
your
like
mouth
an-
nice and salivary, fill it with saliva,
Someone's put an IED in his balls.
and then you need to chomp the shit out of those bollocks. Like, is it a one bite twist scenario? Is
I
it or a
hope
one
so.
bite done,
Tug.
or is it kind of a chomp
You have to,
until
like, grind
you gotta worry
Ah.
at it. You gotta worry at
like a growling dog on
it.
The goat is bleating his ass off.
You're like,
But there's a reason behind it, isn't it? It's literally because the saliva it helps heal, or it helps like disinfect.
I don't really know why our saliva would do that
Goat.
because we're different.
Bite
Like-
balls. I mean,
Why bite a goat's balls off?
veterinarian
Can't be good
bites
for it.
testicles off goat?
It just makes me sick. This kind of.
Yeah.
Well, it's not your balls that are getting bitten off,
I know, but I can imagine it.
can you?
Yeah, and also like the act of doing it.
Banding. Is it called banding a goat?
Well, that's probably where you put a rubber band
Banding
around it.
goats when they're younger seems to cause less discomfort. However, banding them too early can lead to problems with the urinary
Yeah.
calculi.
Remember, we got taught about this by that woman on that Airbnb. You can't castrate an animal too early because it'll fuck up the development of their junk, which therefore creates too narrow a block for them to piss through. So whilst the bladder
That's those
Gets-
goats that we saw. Yeah. They pee
gets
out the back.
larger, but if you've cut the nuts off too young, the dick doesn't get big enough, and therefore you've got like a bottleneck for all the piss. So what they do is they do a surgery where they reroute the bladder out of the arsehole, and so male goats will then piss out of their arse.
We saw it. We saw it live. We saw
Well,
it.
that's what happens. That is actually a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
I've-
saw them peeing out their butts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They almost got me.
They
Almost got
did.
me. 15
Yeah, no.
most bizarre medical treatments ever. In the early 1900s, John Brinkley, they've named him, became one of the richest doctors in America despite having no medical qualifications. He claimed he could cure impotence, infertility, and other sexual problems by surgically implanting goat testicles into a man's scrotum.
Oh my god!
The surgery
my
had
God.
no scientific merit and was extremely dangerous. Many patients died.
Oh, God.
What?
Anesthetic, right?
When was it?
It was, hang on, let's
20th
go back.
century? Nah, you can
It was
still,
early 1900s.
the early 1900s. They wouldn't have had general, but you would have got off your face on like laudanum or some other opiate.
Fucking hell!
That's really bizarre. Let's see what the farts in a jar. In the Middle Ages, some doctors believed like cures like. So when confronted by the Black Death, thought to be caused by deadly vapors, they were convinced that the key to fighting the disease was to use a bit of therapeutic stink. Some urged people to keep goats in there. Why goats so prevalent?
Why are they, they're the miracle
Goats are
cure.
everywhere. Others recommended flatulence stored in jars. Each time the deadly
Got
pestilence
one. Get the jar.
appeared in the neighborhood, people would
thank
open the
God.
jars and take a whiff as it was a safety blanket. Quickly, get the jars.
Everyone loves their own brand.
I feel safer. It sounds
This
funny
is
now,
Grandpa's jar.
Oh no!
but
a little bit came out.
The plague was no
So
joke.
we got left of him. This is farts in a jar.
Farts in a jar. Oh, those are Eric's old farts. Bless him. Give him a quick whiff. Oh, they're still fresh. Oh,
smell just like
bizarrely
Eric.
still fresh. Kept in here. Oh, all
Fresh
these
as the
years.
day it was laid.
But yeah, the plague was no joke. Between
You followed through on
1348
this one.
and 1350,
Freebie.
it killed 30 to 60% of Europe's population.
Yeah,
the stinky
well, yeah.
jars didn't help.
I mean, at that point, you'd be at your wit's end to try and find a cure for
Yeah,
it.
you
so
would. I'd be sniffing
I
my
can see
neighbour's
why.
farts straight out of their ass.
I'd try anything at that
Do it
point.
straight into my nostrils. Come on, straight in there. Come on, more gas.
Having been in like the old Edinburgh, underneath it, have you done one of those tours?
We did the tour, didn't we?
I wasn't there. That was the time you guys went up for something. I think. and
Oh
I didn't
yeah,
go.
it was. I think the video was called like Man. I can't remember, but it was like a BBC
Yeah,
News
and it was
article
like a
joke
weird
thing.
guy that was giving us a tour.
Because yeah, it was a weird guy, and it was
Like old
very
Edinburgh,
bizarre
it's like
Scottish tour.
New Edinburgh was built on top of Old Edinburgh, and like their living conditions were shit. Like loads of families crammed into one thing. They had a shit bucket, which was just throw on the street.
Yeah, that was it.
Just throwing their shit on the street, just outside. It's like, I'm going to work now, sloshing through shit.
Yeah,
It's gross.
took a while for the logic to say.
No wonder they got Black Plague.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, sewage.
No one had Oral B either.
Electric toothbrushes were not to be found. Well, what about dead mouse paste? Who'd put a dead mouse in the mouth? Ancient Egyptians did,
Oh, nice.
with the hope that doing so would ease toothache pain. In some cases, mashed mouse was blended with other ingredients, and the resulting poultice, am I saying that correctly? Poultice was applied to the painful spot. Egyptians weren't the only ones big on mouse cures. In Elizabethan England, one remedy was was to cut a mouse in half and apply it to the offending spot. So you just cut it there and just, like you're just putting cream on a wound, you're just putting half a dead mouse on your wart to cure
of
it.
these things, and like, where's the research?
I think that you have to try everything to find the things you're after. If
Nope,
you don't
that
have
doesn't work.
scientific knowledge, you will just go, well, let's cut that fucking mouse in half.
Like, where
Well,
did
they
these
did
Alright, okay.
believe in like
Well, let's just...
straight up magic in ancient Egypt as well.
Yeah,
So
but
you got to
they-
remember
yeah.
like
Yeah.
what you're
Where did
dealing
the
with.
ideas-
Witch, burn him up!
Yeah, there's a fine balance between getting too good at what you're doing to then get burnt as a witch.
Yeah.
To then like just doing these weird remedies to be like,
Yeah.
it's not gonna work, but I won't get burnt at the stake for it.
Did you know the first vibrator was invented by a doctor
Yes,
to
because they were,
curing hysteria in
Yeah.
women?
which is
So like they would get the woman in, they would give her a treatment, which was just like this vibrator, and
not even that, it was just wooden
Neck
sticks
massager, I
to
think they're
begin
called.
with,
They're called neck
because
a
massages.
wooden
the
stick.
doctor used to do it with their hand.
Oh, I see.
And then they like got tired of using their hand for so many
Right,
women that they
yeah.
invented the dildo to do
He's
it
just fucking
instead.
exhausted.
Yeah,
Christ. What have you been up to
Ultimately-
today, Paul?
to cast away the
Go
demons.
on, please call me doctor.
Crazy times.
I'm exhausted. My arms are aching. Look at these forearms. Wow. You look like, you look like Popeye.
You know, I've been using synthol. What's synthol? Wait 100 years and you'll find out. Ask anyone in Eastern Europe.
The Elizabethans also ate the mice, fried or baked in pies. They were also used to treat whooping cough, measles, smallpox, and bedwetting.
Used to treat sounds like it works. But
Yeah. It's like, wow, this really has a multitude of
Yeah.
applications.
wow, why are we using mice nowadays?
Yeah.
Also, grinding them down to paste and putting them in your mouth, no different to sausages, really.
I guess so.
Yeah,
you're
but
not-
like,
I'm
how
not-
thorough are you being?
when you
like-
s-
How thorough this
are you
sausage
like
industry
keeping
being.
it in your mouth, like just resting it
Well, as
there,
long as
or
it-
are you eating it?
Also,
Cooked, or is it
the
dead?
Fur,
Is it-
If anything, we're
is
doing
the
it
fur
worse.
still on it?
Is
It's the main
fur-
thing
is
I'm
it-
interested
Well, it's been
in.
mulched. I don't know if it's all
Like
just
this
Tasted.
sausages at least will have like bones removed and hair removed
You
and stuff
say
like that.
that, but
mice
Well,
is
I
too
mean,
small.
maybe
like a
if you're
dormouse,
eating
you're
like
gonna-
gutter grade sausages, then maybe
Walls.
not chop.
I'm
But
talking
like,
walls.
but with
Specifically
what I'm imagining they
branded
do, they get
walls.
a mouse out of a box, the bloody thing's going, "Meow," and they just go bam, and then they mash it up with one of those hammers, and then
tenderizer.
mix
They
it
might
with
have
some
skin it
herbs
first.
and pack it up.
They might
I mean, it's a
skin it.
mouse. They're a pain in the ass to skin. They're
Are they?
tiny.
Yeah. What if they're just like, wow, what if the skin, the skin could have been used for the warts, maybe,
That's true. Don't waste
or
it.
like a plaster.
And if anything, you only need to half it for paste, and then
Band-Aid.
the other half can go on ulcers and warts.
Look, let's not reinvent medical history because
When it's
it
already
clearly
been-
didn't work.
This sounds like it's gonna work.
What do you think is going to be looked back on in 100 years' time at this period? Today, at some of the medical
Anti-vaxxers.
It's
It's hard to believe they exist now.
the fact that we had vaccinations and then they later on became rejected by certain members of society.
It's hard to say because obviously
Or, like,
modern medicine's
practices.
come so far
I
already.
think chemotherapy is going to be one of those ones.
Yeah.
Where it's like you are blitzing
Yeah.
a body with radiation.
We already understand that chemotherapy
It's
is
damaging,
is
but,
not
a
perfect cure.
But it's also like, holy
They're
shit.
doing what they can,
People
right?
still go through that.
Yeah,
And
well,
that's
it's the only option.
It's the only option.
Yeah.
Like, holy fuck.
It works, but it's horrifically
It's barbaric. really.
painful
Yeah.
and horrible for the person. Yeah, absolutely. But chemo, hopefully, will.
I don't know enough
Yeah,
about
those-
modern medicine to know what they have and have not tried to say that that's wrong. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What's something
Because
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, is there any weird like? It's probably like herbal
What about, like,
treatments or like
holistic
kind of
stuff?
yeah.
I mean, yeah, all holistic stuff is.
But
by
we already know
nature
that though, right?
Stupid.
So-
yeah,
Like
yeah.
using,
The
like,
reason it's called holistic
whale-
therapy is because it doesn't scientifically, medically work. That's why.
Is there
I don't know.
something-
I smother my balls in whale blubber, and that gives me the big old
Where'd
stalk.
you get that from? Holland and Barrett?
Holland and Barrett.
Nice.
Whale blubber at the back.
Front shelf.
Yeah.
Well,
It's in a freezer. You got to defrost it.
Request it as well.
I'd warm it up in the microwave and then dip
Get
your
it
balls
room.
in it.
Get it
Dip your
ball
balls in it.
temperature. Yeah,
Wait, hold on. Am I
Virile.
confusing holistic and homeopathic?
I probably am.
Just
Yes.
saying. If you haven't tried the whale blubber thing,
Again,
try it
because
now.
everybody
It's the
is-
one reason I think they should keep whaling.
That's another quote for Swampy.
Here's
They
another
should
one.
keep
Sheep
whaling.
liver diagnosis.
Right. Sorry. Holistic treatment is to characterize by treatment that treats the whole person, rather taking
like
into
holistic
account mental
therapy.
and social factors rather than
Yeah.
just symptoms of the disease. So maybe I'm thinking more of
Like
homeopathy.
massage is part of that.
Yeah. I mean, like the.
Well, Mercury being in retrograde, do you think that's related to it in any way?
Sorry. I am thinking of homeopathy. Sorry.
Well, Mercury being in retrograde, is that a thing that you think that
What, the
makes
planet?
any
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
No, I think
Yeah, I
that-
can feel that.
I think that. Well, I mean, we know that pressure and things like that affect mood and things like that.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And your gut.
I
What do you
guess
mean,
it's
like-
not impossible to say like gravitational waves have some form of effect on human beings,
and,
but
and the moon.
well, maybe this is the thing.
'Cause
So
it affects the
if
tides.
atmospherics have effects on human health, which they do, I guess you could potentially say that like, gravitational changes in our solar system may have some form of.
Can we get a solid yes or no on that?
I'm going to say no to be safe.
Okay.
No,
Right.
Mercury being in retrograde does not have an impact
Until-
on your well-being.
Until
Okay.
proven otherwise, it's a no.
Yeah.
And until then, I will be pasting some mice.
Oh, okay. He's going to go mouse paste.
Well, I was going to get my wisdom teeth taken out, but instead I'm just going to pack my back gums
Yeah.
full of mashed mouse.
Yeah. Well, I mean, don't act too fast. There are other options here. Let's go through them.
All right,
There's
what else we got?
sheep liver diagnosis with no blood tests or X-rays. How did ancient healers diagnose illness?
They read the signs.
It's not rhetorical. Please answer.
Did they do like the Harry Potter thing where they drank like some coffee and spat it into a cup and then looked at the
Yeah,
shapes?
it's pretty much like that. It's like soothsaying. Yeah.
Like
Is that what you're
bones.
talking about?
No,
Throwing
that's
bones.
I think that's what you're talking about.
So
isn't
I
it?
thought they
Or
were
is
going to
this,
look at the gut and go, ooh,
Okay, let's
what's
have a look.
this?
So in Mesopotamia,
Mhm.
modern day Iraq, or Iraq, if you prefer to say it like that,
Why?
practitioners made judgments not by inspecting the patient, but by examining the livers of sacrificed sheep.
Yeah. So it is like that. It's
yeah.
tea leaves.
At
It's,
the
it's
time-
soothsaying.
The liver
it's
was
a
thought
man.
to be the source of human blood, and
Right.
hence the source of life itself. Clay models of sheep livers date back as far as 2050 BC. Talk about medicine gone
Fucking hell,
bad.
they're ahead of us.
Thanks.
2050.
Just a quick joke from there.
The other way though.
Okay, well this one's just awful. I mean,
It shouldn't be in Hatchet anymore.
no.
Let's just say weird shit.
This
Just inane.
What's the next
There's
one?
the image of this is a dude with scissors to his tongue.
That looks like Dan
you don't need to
TDM.
see it. It does look like Dan TDM about to cut off his tongue. So hemiglossectomy. What's the best treatment for stuttering? Doctors in the 18th and 19th centuries often cut off half the stutterer's tongue. Stutterer's tongue. Half of their tongue. Let's stop this. Let's nip this in the bud right away. Come here. There you go. Can you talk now? Oh, actually, I'm worse than before, you fucking prick. Hemiglossectomy is still used today. Fuck.
What?
But as a treatment for oral cancer. Well, that's very
Well,
different.
That's
That's very
completely different.
Yeah. You just don't want to stand near a guy
Holy
who's
crap.
used to cutting people's tongues out. And now it's done under general anesthesia, which
No
wasn't
way.
the case back in the day. And pain
Oh.
was the only problem.
Oh my god.
Oh, pain was only one problem. The treatment didn't work, and some
Infection.
patients bled to death. No,
Yeah, no
shit.
Robin Hood,
Okay.
Men in Tights,
Mhm.
had a character with a cut out tongue.
I think there was a guy with a cut-out
So I
tongue
should be
in
in
The
Hatchet.
Mummy. The Mummy. Remember The Mummy?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I think and then obviously
Yeah.
that guy, the mummy, took most of his organs.
Hmm.
What a
So-
film. Brendan Fraser, great guy.
Brendan Fraser.
Crocodile dung. Think condoms are a drag? In ancient Egypt, the contraceptive of choice was crocodile dung. Dried dung was inserted into the vagina. The idea being that it would soften as it reached body temperature to form an impenetrable barrier.
Impenetrable. No matter how hard you go at it.
Instead, it just gave them a horrible infection.
Definitely must be. Yeah.
How do you even clean that out?
Where's that
one's
crocodile
the
bin?
worst one.
Other contraceptive pessaries used back in the day included tree sap, lemon halves, cotton, wool, 2 separate entities, sea sponges, and elephant dung.
Elephant dung.
And
too.
so I'm guessing most of these were packed into a vagina at some point. Which, I mean, maybe not the... maybe someone
now
was
we've got
trying
to
to
be
use a
really
lemon
sure
half.
you
Oh,
don't
this-
get pregnant.
Imagine getting lemon on your dick. Just like this kind of the potential stinging sensation of lemon citrus.
Just
not
all
not
of it.
even on your dick. You're putting all
Well,
this.
yeah,
shit
but then you're putting the
inside
whole
of-
fucking thing inside someone
vagina.
else. And why only half? Why not just like make a hole inside it?
Well,
and-
because then the juice comes out if you put lemon halves in rather than a whole lemon. Also, it's a lot easier to get half a lemon in, isn't it?
just fuck a lemon. Just fuck a lemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
instead.
Are we okay with that? We agreed we should all just fuck a
Sometimes
lemon.
I put tiger balm down my urethra.
That sounds
Bit of a
brutal.
buzz.
Really brutal.
Like it.
Yeah.
Does the word clysters come to mind?
Is it when you shove
Cool.
something up somebody's ass?
The archaic word for enemas
There we go.
are thought to have been used since ancient times.
How did they used to do it?
They were particularly fashionable from the 17th through the 19th centuries.
Mm.
Wealthy people used them to treat constipation, which enemas can help, as well as a variety of other complaints for which they're useless. A typical clyster might contain warm water mixed with salt, baking soda, or soap. Some doctors added coffee, bran, herbs, honey, or chamomile to the mix.
Or crocodile dung
In high yeah, or a mix of crocodile dung
And mashed
stuffed
mice.
into a lemon
with some wool.
with a dead mouse for good measure.
You send the mouse up live.
Yeah, it's going up there. It's like that room with Richard Gere.
In that,
Which it has to be a rumor, right?
yeah.
Or is it based on fact?
It's
No.
gotta be what they had a hamster put up his ass.
Yeah, that's the rumor, isn't it? The famous rumor of Richard Gere is that he likes to have a hamster tickle his asshole by nibbling at it.
Oh, that's not true. There's no way. Hamsters don't nibble
They
in a
just
nice way. It fucking hurts. I've been bitten by hamsters numerous
Fuck
times.
me. What
You got to
film, is
train
it?
them first.
What film is it where they get rats, put them on someone's stomach, and then put a metal tin on top and then burn the blowtorch the top?
Inglourious
So they-
Bastards, is it?
Is it Inglourious
no,
Bastards?
it's earlier than that, actually.
I think it's like a medieval thing. I can't remember what it was.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, obviously then it has nowhere
I've
else to
not
go
seen
to
it.
escape the heat. Put
Yeah.
down. So it's like
Oh.
a really horrible torture method.
So it digs through the body.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
that's really gross.
Still rather that.
It's
Pretty
been a
horrible.
gross hat chat.
There's got to be loads of weird torture techniques you wouldn't even ever think
quite a
of.
good topic,
And then when it
though.
comes up, you're like, fuck me. That's horrible that someone even thought of that.
It's very
Let alone
interesting.
to actively do that at some point in history. But, you know.
It's like removing arms and limbs and stuff pre-anesthetic. Like just what they had to go through to be like,
Yeah.
gonna saw this off now, bite down on this wooden block.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Take some alcohol in. That's all you got, really.
Well, yeah.
Booze. And also, I don't know about you, but I rarely get to a point where I've drank enough where it numbs pain.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever noticed that? Like,
I don't know.
You'd
If you
feel
get to the
it.
point where, like, the worst point would be when you're laying down, everything's still spinning. That's when you're like,
Oh.
I'm not even aware of. I mean, you just
It's
feel
horrible,
shit. It's
yeah.
the worst feeling.
do you
possible.
think at that point, wow, I could totally have my arm cut off by a saw now?
No, no. But I mean, I'm sure you probably could, but you'd be in a kind of a state of delirium. But I don't think that would stop you from going into some kind of
Shock.
or something.
Yeah,
or
you would
kind of just be
automatically.
like,
And then they
"Fuck!"
cauterize the freaking open veins and arteries as well. So you're like, once the thing's cut off, you've got your main artery in your arm
Yeah,
or
you've
whatever,
got to
just
make sure
pissing
that's,
out blood. Somebody smell bacon? You know what I mean?
Don't waste it.
Then you get hungry and you eat your own arm.
Yeah.
What number is that in Roman numerals?
You
I'm
wake
pretty
up
shit
to
when
a
they write
platter.
Roman numerals.
Huh?
Louis the what is that? XIV 14 of France is said to have had more than 2,000 enemies.
Loves them.
2,000
Swears
enemies.
by him.
Who's counting at that stage? After 10, after 15, you're kind of like, well, mate, how many do I have? Oh, I can't remember now. How many times have you shoved that pipe up my ass? Well, I honestly can't count.
Another.
So many times. Just, well, shove it back in.
For the evening.
But well, don't take it out. Yeah, put it back in again.
Oh my god.
Powder of sympathy. 17th century medicine can seem a bit crazy to modern people, but perhaps nothing seems wackier than Sir Kenelm Digby's powder of sympathy. The powder was intended as a treatment for a very specific injury, rapier wounds. It was made of earthworms, pig's brains, iron oxide, rust, and bits of mummified corpses. Ground into a powder, the powder was applied not to the wound itself, but to the offending weapon. So I guess you would just like douse your sword in
What? And that would help the person who's been stabbed by it.
essentially. It feels like it's gonna, if anything, inflict them with more potentially.
Wait, hold on. So
Like poisonous.
you wipe the blade before you stab somebody with
Yeah,
it?
yeah. You'd apply it to the weapon.
That's just to really fuck him up, surely.
Digby thought that the strange concoction would somehow encourage the wound itself to heal
Oh.
via a process called sympathetic magic.
I mean, you can see the
Yeah.
thought process there.
Well, you've got the earthworms. He's got
Yeah.
the pig's brain. Givens straight away. They're definitely going to help you out. And a bit of rust and some mummified corpses. Why not?
So speaking
Ground
of
into a nice powder.
earthworms and
Yeah.
worms in general,
Mm-hmm.
there's a method now used in like farming, in small scale farming largely, like if you've got an allotment, right? You have your compost bin, yeah? So all your like old shit, like maybe you've just harvested your fruit and veg and there's a load of off cutting, so you put that in your compost bin. What you do is you have a load of worms in there, usually earthworms,
Yeah.
munching it
mobs
all
down.
up, but then on the bottom of the bin, you have a little tap.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah.
what that is basically worm excrement. So the worms eat all the stuff, then they like not poo it, sort of more like a pee. Like they piss it out.
Can you describe its colour and maybe
Yellowy.
texture?
It's
okay.
not very nice.
What does it taste like though?
Well, I don't want to know. Probably really earthy.
Why is there a
Um,
tap?
Just wondering.
So-
Shall we
the
put a
tap-
glass in there?
yeah,
So
well, sure you
the
just
tap is like a beer handle.
put a tumbler underneath
Pump
it.
it
of course,
out.
Yeah, get the right angle.
But then you use that as like a super potent fertilizer for fruits and vegetables, right?
Okay.
I went to this like eco garden thing where they did all that sort of stuff, but it was really cool. I didn't really think about it, like
Yeah.
you have this tap, and it's called something. It's called like worm castings or something like that. Essentially,
Tasty worm.
it is the milk of the worm
Yeah.
that you then go on to fertilize your garden with.
So you can then use that like a little spray. Around
Yeah,
you.
or like use it on tomatoes, use it on fruit, and also another good little tidbit I learned there, which I think I've told you
Fresh
before. If you want to protect your lettuces from slugs or your
have.
cabbages,
It's been rife. Yeah.
if you want to protect your cabbages from slugs and other slimy culprits,
Ross has been growing them in his flat. Yeah.
and you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
want to use like pesticides and all that sort of shit, you can use cracked eggshells. And so
Oh,
you
okay.
crunch up eggshells and then you sprinkle them around the outside of the lettuce, and the slug won't go over the eggshells because it hurts its foot.
That's nice.
That's
so
how it
really
is.
cracked up.
You just-
Yeah, like
like
cracked
little
up.
sharp.
You've
Fine,
done a-
yeah, so they're a little bit sharp, and the slugs don't like going over it because it hurts their foot,
That's nice.
and
Little.
so they won't eat the cabbage or the
That's
lettuce.
just slugs, though, right?
Well, and snails, but slugs are like the main culprit of eating things like cabbages and things like that.
What about caterpillars?
Yeah, I guess you'd have to worry about caterpillars.
Can I not attach like a couple of empty like paint buckets on strings around that when they walk in through an area, it'll just swing down and hit them, Home Alone style?
What?
I mean,
Slug?
we're already starting with the
Individual
eggshells.
slugs.
I mean,
One
Yeah.
paint bucket per
You
slug.
could,
booby
yeah.
trap it. Make it fun. Make your garden fun, people.
Make it a booby trap for slugs.
Yeah.
Quite hard to customize booby traps.
And have like a cauldron at the top that's filled with salt, and then when they hit a pressure plate, so you'll come back and you'll just see a melting slug who stepped on the pressure plate because he was a dumb idiot.
I think what I'd do is have an air blaster underneath the lettuce, so it fires the lettuce into the air and then sets the whole thing on fire.
with the whole building.
Have you ever
The
seen?
lettuce is safe in a net up above, but just
Just build it
purge
up.
the land.
Have you ever seen Inside the Factory where they show you like that part where they're basically the product goes down and the good product keeps going down, but the
Oh, and
bad
then
ones
the
it gets
ones get-
jetted out with an
Yeah.
airstream. So you want that essentially to jet the slug away when
Slug.
it hits a certain
Yeah.
ring. So
you
you'll
want it-
see slugs just all over the garden where they've just been flung out of
Fired.
place. Yeah, yeah.
What are slugs good for?
I think
Bird populations.
there is probably there is always an ecological
Just
reason
wonder if there's
why
a
these
way
things exist.
We could blast them in the direction of like
Oh.
storing them all.
Onto a bird's nest, so they can just
Something like
the
that.
birds can
Yeah.
onto your
What
neighbour's
does the birds
conservatory.
eat slugs? They
To
seem
their
quite
lettuces.
big. I mean,
Huh?
I guess a smaller slug aren't too bad, but like some.
Well, as a
fuckers are
man who's
huge.
had a slug in his mouth,
Ah, you've had more of an
Uh,
intimate relation
I can
with
tell
a
you
slug.
that the slime they produce actually is really hard to break down with our saliva.
So you can't eat them.
Well, I don't know. I imagine birds can eat them. I don't know. I'm
I
not a
can't believe
slug
you
expert.
sucked one in.
It's gross.
Oh, the thought of that.
No, it was really. I can still remember the feeling to this day. I honestly can.
Haunting.
Traumatizing.
haunted. Anyway, arsenic. Arsenic may well be may be a well-known poison, but for centuries it was used as a medicine. In traditional Chinese medicine, arsenic is known as pi shuang or pai shuang. Arsenic was a key ingredient in many patent medicines, including Fowler's solution, a purported cure for malaria and syphilis, in use from the late 18th century and the 1950s. Another arsenic-containing patent medicine, Donovan's solution, which was used to treat arthritis and diabetes. Victorian
I
women
wanna
also
see
used
some-
it as a cosmetic. What the fuck? Oh, is that why it was in talcum powder? Was that what it
Something
was?
on
No, it
those
was
lines, like a makeup foundation, right?
that was asbestos,
That's asbestos.
and that was Johnson & Johnson, wasn't it?
baby powder. Yeah.
Fuckers.
Traces of asbestos.
Joseph.
Just trying to
No,
cull the
Johnson,
population.
Johnson.
Was it traces of asbestos?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
in baby powder. Like
I thought it was just
talcum
those
powder.
microfine particles that could cause.
Apparently,
Issues.
talcum powder in general, can cause issues, but
It's like inhaling them is
Adding-
severely
a bit of
dangerous.
asbestos in is probably not a good idea, right?
Corn-based powder's fine though. That's just what a lot of them are switching to.
The band.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like if you've got
yeah.
corn-branded baby
Corn with
powder,
a K.
Right.
fine.
Yeah, cool.
These guys with these huge dreads. And
God, what do they do now? Are they still active, do you think?
I don't know. They were active in like
Corn.
the 80s, so I doubt it.
Freak on a Leash. No, they
The
had a new album
80s.
recently, I think.
Freak on a Leash.
Yeah, Freak on a Leash was
Great
1998,
song.
and that's kind of like that was a classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Great song.
I think they're still active.
They are.
So there you
I
go.
think they did an album recently. You like Corn, Craig?
I never really got into corn. to be
No, I
honest.
can't say I did either.
The
What are the
vegetable?
vegetables do you
Yeah,
like?
what are you guys
Craig?
talking about?
Don't know.
I was talking about the band.
Yeah, they released.
I like corn.
The Nothing.
Corn
last year.
fritters are delicious. And corn on the cob as well.
Yeah.
Corn
good.
good.
Not such a fan of sweet corn in a tin. It's too sweet for me.
Yeah.
And it irks me
Yeah.
how sweet it is.
I don't like eating corn off a cob as
Mm.
much as I do like it.
Yeah.
The part where it all gets in your teeth really annoys me.
Mm.
Yeah,
Like to the point where I don't want to eat it because I know that's going to happen.
yeah.
Mm.
Well, I'd rather just forego
But
that.
it looks juicy and very
But
tempting.
then you have the fun of like picking it out your teeth with like a pick.
That's not fun.
That's
You
not
find
fun.
that fun?
Yeah.
Why is that fun for you? I guess everyone's
It's
It's a little
just like
after
picking-
activity.
It's just nice to get it all feeling right again, isn't
digging
it?
around.
This is the same guy that likes going to the dentist, so
You
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's fine, man.
I don't enjoy it, but like overall,
Get
I'm
off
like,
on it.
Yeah,
Gets off on the dentist.
I'm going to the dentist.
Do you mind? I mean, you're focusing on my face, so while I, enjoy myself, I'll get the HBO box
Yeah,
out.
get the bloody HBO box out.
Masochist.
Christ, what are you doing? Smash Mouse? Yeah.
I'm watching Game of Thrones. I'm watching Game of Thrones.
I'm watching Game of Thrones. I did actually watch one of the episodes of Game of Thrones on a plane once, and it was a sex scene.
I find
awkward.
sex scenes on planes quite
Quite
weird,
liberating.
aren't they? Yeah, liberating. Yeah.
Oh, you get a bit of this.
No holds barred. Everything's happening.
6-year-old in the seat behind me. You like this kid? Whoa, mind if I have a cheeky one?
I think it was Westworld. I watched.
You
What was
watched
that?
Teeth.
Teeth.
Oh yeah, with Scott.
The one
right,
where there's
yeah.
the teeth are in the vagina.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what it's all about.
And they were really young children.
I like that
behind me.
film. I thought it was an interesting idea. Like
It's such a naff film.
it's
I mean,
naff,
yeah, but,
but
there's
it's
loads
like
of naff horror films. Like
it's kind of there's a very carnal element to it, a very carnal fear.
There's literally a bit at the end where it's like a shot between her legs
Mm-hmm.
on the floor,
yeah,
just the ground, and then the dick,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's like
falls
the
out.
and it's got a cock ring on it.
Does it?
nice.
Yeah, and it's just like, the asshole that finally got his comeuppance.
Yeah. She finally bit his dick off.
Did
with
she
her
take the ring?
bitey
and wear
vagina.
It's a memento.
Oh wow, it fits.
See, I don't watch Teeth on a train.
On a train?
Yeah, that's what I did.
Oh, train, not a plane. I think
Yeah, but it's like Alfred Hitchcock, isn't it? It's so old now that it's not scary.
It's not scary, it's just
scary.
gross.
It's just the fact that it's. Is it that explicit? I don't remember it being that explicit. It was more kind
no,
of like
it's like the idea of it.
The
Yeah,
build up
yeah.
to it. You can't have a
Whereas,
constantly
like,
chomping them.
Westworld and whatever is full blown like
Yeah.
nudity and stuff.
You can't
which
go back
is visible.
now. They've set that bar now, so HBO have to do that.
They have
Well,
to.
it's kind of good because, like, nudity shouldn't really be an issue.
Yeah, it shouldn't
should
be-
Compared to other things that are censored, yes,
Yeah.
absurd.
I think actors should have real sex always.
Another
I think
Ross
you're
Zombie
asking
quote.
a lot from actors.
Yeah, especially
It's
ones
a terrible
in, like,
actor if they can't do it.
Shia
Shia LaBeouf did it.
marriages and relationships.
Shia LaBeouf.
He had real sex,
Mhm.
did he?
In which film?
With who?
It was probably a bad film that I don't
Like an
remember.
indie
but,
film.
Shia LaBeouf. I think it was like a really
Your Google
controversial
search history is
film.
going to be weird.
Shia LaBeouf.
Maniac or something.
Nymphomaniac.
Nymphomaniac. There we go. The
Nymphomaniac.
it's all in
Oh,
the name.
that one.
It's all in
Yeah,
the
the
name.
one that had like the Rorschach test butterfly thing as the pattern. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I never actually watched it, but I know that he specifically
Well, he did
have sex for
that
real.
whole screening of all his films recently, didn't he? So that must have been in it.
Yeah.
It's like another viral thing that he loves doing. I thought it was actually quite... Have you seen Hot Stuff? Where they eat chicken wings that get progressively more hot.
Yeah, that's not called
And
hot
it's an
stuff.
interview.
It's not called hot
Hot
stuff.
Ones.
Hot ones. Yeah.
For
Hot
some reason,
Ones.
hot stuff just didn't bring
Really
me to
threw
that.
me off.
But yeah.
Hot
Yeah, I have.
Ones.
I saw the Paul Rudd one recently as
Did
well.
you see the
and,
Shia LaBeouf one?
no, I haven't. Is that good?
He's actually sounds like a pretty chill guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, I think. I mean, I imagine
But then-
some of the stunts he pulled is more just kind of fucking with people
And staying
and just seeing what he can
in
get
the-
away with, right?
He's very much an auteur in that way, I think.
He just likes trying
likes
these things
doing
and being
stuff.
dedicated to that thing.
Which is why
Yeah.
I did a whole green screen of him just going crazy.
Well, didn't he do a thing where he was like, people could just talk to him in a quiet room
Yeah.
for like 24 hours or something, and then some woman molested him or something?
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
Yeah.
literally happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, well, I just had to take it.
Yeah.
I mean,
He
I feel
didn't
like
have to.
I feel like if there was a genuinely unsafe scenario, he might have probably reacted and said.
I think that the part of the reason that he did it was probably to see what people would do.
Yeah,
So
well, that's
like
it.
if he
It's an
didn't,
experiment of
if he didn't take it, then he'd be like, "Oh, I'm not ready for this." I think that's quite a cool idea. Like, I mean, it's
If he's willing for
mad.
It might have been different if some dude. I mean, did some dude try to punch him? I can't remember if somebody
it, I
hit him.
don't know.
God,
But
Can't tell you.
ultimately, if you're gonna
That's
do
very
something like
interesting.
that, you kind of need to be open to like
Anything happening.
anything happening.
Like
yeah.
being killed.
Jeez.
Yeah.
He could have been stabbed.
I mean, how like what is he ultimately trying to do? Like, is he trying to like, create art that people talk about? Because if he did get stabbed or killed, they'd be fucking talking
There's
about
got to
it.
be an element of getting in the news for doing something radical.
But he already gets in the news. I think at a certain point, people don't care about being famous. They care about the
Doing-
weird things they can do with that fame.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe he's that kind of guy.
So a woman whipped his legs for 10 minutes and then stripped his clothing and proceeded to rape him
oh,
Holy crap.
during his silent performance artwork. # I am sorry was what it was called, I think.
Jesus.
Did he stay silent?
It's pretty nuts. I have no idea.
You don't
I don't know. It doesn't say
That's
whether he
horrific.
remained silent. But that's that's obviously that's a
Edgy
scary thing.
question.
If it was a
Does it
dude, do you think he
count
would have
as
stopped him?
Rape.
Consensual. Was it consensual?
Does it count as rape?
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer.
Difficult.
It depends because obviously,
If
like,
he's put himself in that situation.
if he doesn't want it to happen, but then has every possibility to stop that happening. Like, isn't it, like it was a silent kind of performance thing, right? So like,
Yeah.
if he just shut the fuck up whilst pushing her away from him, does that stop the performance being what it was, or?
Yeah, because I guess he just has to be
I don't know.
subject to whatever happens. But then he can just be like, you know what? I've reached my limit of art today.
Okay, because is he going to press charges? I don't know if he is.
I don't think he
I don't think he did. This
think
was
he
a while ago,
did.
4 years ago. So yeah.
Interesting. I don't think
Yeah.
I'd do it.
No, I wouldn't just let people just.
Well, that's why it's
Do
kind
whatever.
of interesting and
Yeah,
brave, I
it's an
suppose.
interesting
Is that most
experiment, I
people
guess.
wouldn't do something like that.
Oh, they would. Like that weird torture dude, the guy who enjoys torturing.
David
people.
Blaine?
No, not David Blaine. No.
Right.
Although his trick now seems to be just putting pins through people's hands, and that seems to be
His
the
own
magic
hand.
trick, where it's just like,
He's built up calluses.
yeah, where it's just like, I just got a specific spot
just-
which I can just make it go through. Is that
It's just-
magic, or is it just you're stabbing yourself in front of people and they're like, oh look, no blood?
And you found a
That's the
spot
trick? Is that
that's
the
really
trick?
hardened.
Which part is the trick?
It's not a trick. It's more like a.
If I cut off
it's-
my hands right now, would I be like, hey, magic, guys?
Well, it's just like a dedication to your
Oh,
art,
it's-
isn't it?
As long as you didn't scream, I'd be like, yeah,
Oh, fair play.
If you-
magic.
Put them back
But
on.
I can't put them back on.
Yeah,
that's not
you
magic.
That's
could-
not the magic. The magic will be getting them back on.
You can reattach
He
fingers.
did it with no pain and no blood or anything. That's the magic. It's like he trained himself. That's
Yeah.
that's a dedication.
and we're
to it.
talking about it.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
talking about it.
Only because I saw it recently where he did it with Casey Neistat's hand as well.
He
What,
did
you
with
put it
his
through
hand.
Casey's
Yeah.
hand?
Yeah.
So there is a trick then.
Essentially,
You
yeah.
can't just stick a huge needle through somebody's hand.
Well, it's like an acupuncture needle, so it's super
Oh.
thin and fine. That like he said, like he barely feels it, but you can feel like a slight pinch.
You guys
where
ever had
it's-
acupuncture?
No.
No.
It doesn't-
I have.
What's it like?
Not very comfortable.
Where would you
No.
have it on your back, mate?
No, I had it on
like
my knee.
your knee?
Feels like
I actually did it. My mate's a physiotherapist, and he just passed his acupuncture course, and I was like, "Oh, dude, my knee's really hurting me. Can you have a go?"
Almost test.
And he did. He started putting them in, and I was like, "Oh, it's a bit weird." Then he went a bit too deep, and he hit like a nerve inside my knee, and I almost vomited.
Oh my god, that sounds awful.
I can still remember the pain to this day. He's like, "Oh, I think I might have hit your synovial capsule." And I was like, "What's that?" And he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. It'll be all right."
Oh, that
Fuck.
sounds
But-
so bad.
Yeah. Apart from that,
it's
it's all right. Seriously though, like he did, I was like, "Oh!" like imagine like a super sensitive,
Fuck,
like
that sounds so fucked up.
deep pain. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it. Like where have you
in your
did it-
body,
did it
like when
spread?
like it goes through your back. And
Yeah,
down your
like
spine,
yeah,
you feel it like
yeah.
your ass
yeah.
clenches up. You're like, ugh.
Yeah, it's like you've hit a nerve in your back, and you
Yeah.
can hear it all through your body.
It's a bizarre
Oh,
thing, isn't
fuck
it?
me, it
Nerves,
Mm.
because ultimately it's the nerves are just a brain reaction to something, electrical signal
Yeah,
that's
a nerve
recreating
is
a
sending
stimulation.
yeah,
But it's not. Pain isn't like a tangible thing, is
Yeah.
it? It's like a brain sending you like a that should stop happening.
Yeah,
Something's
kind of,
fucked
yeah.
up, yeah.
So why does it go to that extent?
Well, it's
Like-
actually interesting. So the person who I'm talking about, they actually went on to they study chronic pain now, which is basically talking about that kind of thing. Like, what is pain? You
Yeah.
know, like what is it? Are there psychosomatic elements of it? You know, like why is it that people with chronic pain sometimes, like, you know, like what causes it? Like why do some people have chronic pain and some people don't?
And you got like phantom limb and things like that.
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
you have like the mirror put up and you see your hand mirrored,
yeah.
and then they're doing like a fork on it, and it's got a fake hand on the other side.
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
stab
yeah.
the fake hand, and you reel
Yeah.
and like feel it.
Yeah.
Which is bizarre. How
Is that not more of a visual trick, or like?
But it's
kind
like your
of-
brain
yeah.
is
I guess
like
you'll just think you're.
It goes to show that it's not necessarily hardware. It can also be software.
Yeah.
Essentially.
well, it's
Like-
your brain reinterpreting what's happening.
Yeah.
and sending
Yeah, yeah,
signals.
yeah.
So it's interesting.
It is, but what a great time to bring it up. Hitting the hour mark.
that's why I've chosen not
Also,
to
none
feel.
of us know anything about chronic pain, I imagine.
No, not really.
Apart
I
from
don't really
obviously
have
living with Ross Hornby. We all know about
You
that.
live with me.
I feel like we do.
You think we don't?
Are you there? Have you been there the entire time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I have.
There's one more here about urine.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
In medieval Europe, doctors often diagnosed their patients on the basis of uroscopy. Sounds scientific, but it really amounted to nothing more than having a look at the patient's urine. In fact, holding a flask of urine against the light was as much a symbol of medicine as in medieval times as a white coat and stethoscope are today. So what, just literally looking at urine and going, oh, your
Yeah.
urine's right.
You're
I guess it's like,
dehydrated.
yeah, that's kind of the only thing you could assess from
I
that
think
one.
without testing it. I mean, obviously.
Too much blood in this one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.
I would say you need to do something about that.
I mean, that's a bit
Yeah.
more medical than
Yeah.
some of the other things that we've.
It's at least
spoken
sort of
about.
That's,
like-
that's the most
It's
kind
a
of
starting point.
Yeah.
modern kind of look
At least they're not
things,
doing sympathetic magic. You know, like, oh,
Well, yeah.
having trouble pissing? All right, I'll go and wank this cow off.
Oh my
There we go.
god,
That's
what
not
about
a-
crystal meth was used as a medicine?
Crystal meth is an
Yeah.
amphetamine. Crystal meth was used by German tank commanders to keep them awake. It was
Yeah.
called, yeah, is that what they're talking about?
It says here that,
Panzer
um,
Schokolade, they used to call it.
Mm.
Tank chocolate.
It says, as one
Nice.
observer remarked, the injections helped keep Hitler fresh, alert, active, and immediately ready for the day.
Mhm.
Cheerful, talkative, physically active, and tending to stay awake long hours into the
Have
night.
you seen that
So-
video of him like unable to stop
Mm.
moving?
Yeah.
I think that's like an excessive.
Well, his doctor gave him all
Meth
sorts of
shake.
shit. So he was
Yeah.
on crystal meth, which is essentially an amphetamine. He
Mhm.
was on like opiates as well. Like yeah, he was a drug addict. Like
Yeah.
definitely. But yeah, they used to give it to people to keep them awake for like 48-hour like tank driving sessions across the mountains and that sort of shit.
brutal.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jesus.
obviously, interesting.
it's
Sorry,
a
I
whole
should-
other discussion.
But he had a
Yeah.
meth addiction. There you go.
Nice,
Weird. Is that nice? I
nice.
guess. Sure. Nice.
Well, this is a very nice,
yeah, this is-
in-depth and gross hat chat.
A lot of weird things. We've gone from Wankbox to discovering medicines.
old
Old medicines.
medicines,
mouse
Um,
smashing, crystal meth token,
circumcision.
Yeah.
circumcision obsessed men we are.
Yeah, classic.
I just wanted to know if someone cut the dick off, and that has happened, and it probably will continue to happen.
So
if you
you're gonna
keep
is
cutting
that gonna
people's
stop
force-
you having a circumcision in your 30s? You think?
I think it has stopped me. yeah. But also, I don't think people should be forced to have them as a child,
I don't think
religious or otherwise.
They're not forced there.
Are they not? The
Not
baby's not saying, "Oh,
forced.
please no. Can I just actually think this through before I sign any papers?"
Well, yeah, true. But then again, the parents are responsible for the child, aren't they?
Still, it's genital mutilation. It's
Well, yeah.
pretty fucked up.
It's on
Yeah.
par with anti-vaxxing, isn't it?
But just because there's
Is
a
it-
religious thing
It's taking that
behind it,
decision out
it's
of
fine.
the child's hands.
Yeah, but then again, all decisions and opinions are based on consensus, and like 90% of America are circumcised, so it could like change in their minds.
Apparently, it's healthy. As
Yeah,
in,
it
like
is.
it's less likely you'll get like things down there or like
Things trapped.
illnesses and diseases and stuff.
Look,
But,
as three uncircumcised,
I just think it should be
men,
someone's choice.
Knob cheese.
We've never had any problems apart from all the free knob cheese.
For all the free nudges, we get to collect it every evening.
Get a Ribita out.
Jesus.
I managed to make a cheese string out of
Smegma.
mine.
Ooh,
Did you?
It's a smegma cracker.
Sometimes I make like Oreo cookies, and then I push it
Just
down
thick
and it
spread.
just
This
squeezes
Oreo
out.
is so yellow.
Double stuff.
Christ. Jesus.
On that note,
You've been collecting for a long time.
I haven't. That's the thing. I'm just very unclean.
well, for some reason, we have hundreds of people that pay
Ah,
us
they do, yeah.
to talk
Mhm.
like this and allow it to continue. So thank you to all our patrons. You can visit patreon.com/hatfilms if you want to support this kind of talk and discussion.
Indeed.
And yeah, that's
Yeah.
it really. You'll all be credited at the end of the YouTube video available on youtube.com/hatfilms. Hat Chat.
Hat chat now. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you can see all the visuals. You can see us talking and being grossed out by what each other are
And
saying.
please do comment on it or post on the Reddit post about it. It's always fun.
Engage
I
and share.
personally read lots of stuff that people post.
Your input on things. is
So yeah,
interesting.
please feel free to leave comments and things like that.
Absolutely. And we'll leave you again with Octobustan,
Yeah.
the beautiful fingal, which you can send to hatchat@hat-films.com. Thank you, Craig. I thought you
Okay.
pressed
I'm waiting for the
button.
balls, and when you send those in, I'll be elated.
Yes. Once again, running thin on fingals. I do reject some.
Do
so
you?
send your
You're a
fingals in.
harsh critic.
I'm
Yes,
harsh.
yeah.
Are you? Is it like that scene in The Voice where you hit the button and spin
No,
around?
Yeah.
It's a gladiator.
I have
thing.
my
Oh,
own
it's a
chair.
gladiator.
No one sees it, but I do
You are
push
kind
the
of like the
button.
Will I Am of Hat Films, aren't
Yeah.
you?
Let's see. Okay, anyway,
Okay.
see you in a bit.
Ta-ra!